Well guys, I just found a new best friend for my Tonex pedals and any of my other digital platforms. Today we're going to check out the new Tonex Cab by IK Multimedia. Let's get started. Well, I hope you're all doing well today, guys. Thanks for joining me for another video. And I want to thank IK Multimedia for allowing me to be part of the launch of this amazing product. So we're going to get into the features and some of the other things about this product down here in my studio. And then I'm going to give you kind of a real life use case when I take this up to my living room and show you how I change the settings and dial it in for different rooms in my house that I'm in. So I'm in my studio right now. I'm very familiar with this room. It's a really nice room and it's a little dark down here, so I can adjust the cab accordingly. And when I get upstairs, it's a more open space with hardwood floors, so I'm going to make some different adjustments up there and show you all that. And I really hope you enjoyed that segment because I cleaned my freaking house so I can do that segment for you guys. Yeah, I didn't really clean it. I just shoved a bunch of stuff off my counters into a space where you can't see them on the camera view. But I digress. So here are the settings right here that I currently have the cab dialed in at for this particular room. So you have bass, mid, treble, so you have a tone stack, so you can adjust this for any room. You also have an amp tone knob, and that basically allows you to adjust it for different scenarios as well, so that's actually cool. It's just a big EQ sweep, and we'll get into that. And the other thing that's cool is you have presets. You have a bunch of presets you can save on here, and it has an IR loader, so you can load in IRs on this and play DI captures through any one of your modelers, including the Tonex pedals, of course. And you can save all of those in here and then just dial in whatever preset you want that's associated with your favorite IRs. And you can also save all of these settings, you know, right here on the tone stack in your presets as well. So, you know, let's say you play at different clubs or different, you know, venues or whatever. And as you know, speaker cabinets sound different in different spaces. And it's nice to be able to have presets not only for your IRs but presets for different venues that you're in, you know, because you're going to get to a venue that's brighter or darker or whatever, and you're going to want to start grabbing the knobs and start turning them to sound good on that stage in that particular venue. And with this, you can save those presets so you don't have to redial it in every time you go back to that specific venue. All your presets will be saved. You just dial up the preset that you want, choose it, and boom, it's dialed in for that room. So it really makes things very easy for you. So another thing you have really cool down here is a pre and post switch. So basically what that does is, switch cameras again, this whole tone stack can be pre or post your separate output that you're going to send to the front of house. So in other words, you can have a direct out to the front of house for whatever amp tones that you're using, and you can bypass the tone stack if you want. So let's say you're dialing in the cab to sound good on stage where you're using as a monitor, but you don't want the tone stack to change what's going out to front of house because you're happy with that, and you want obviously the front of house engineer to dial that in for his ears and his room and all that. So you can have it either way. You can have it so that the tone stack, as pictured here, will affect the output here or not. So that's actually really cool. I'm so glad that they pretty much thought of everything with this cab. And it also has a kickstand, which I'm obviously not using right now, but it leans it back so that it can be right up at your ears, you know, if you want to really hear it well and dial in your tones better too. You can fine tune it because, you know, as you know, if it's hitting your knees, you're kind of like, yeah, everything sounds great, but it might be a little bright. So you can dial it in as you put it on the kickstand so that you can hear the direct sound to your ears and really fine tune things. So it pretty much has a lot of different ways you can listen to it and dial it in. And the other thing that's really cool is it's only 13 pounds. So let's go ahead and hear what it sounds like. Here's the signal chain. So it's hard to record an FRFR cab, right? Because I'm basically playing a studio capture of one of my amps through my Tonex 1 pedal, which is right here. And its studio capture includes the, you know, the amp, the cab, and the mics associated with the cab. So I'm miking a mic'd signal. So that sounds weird, right? So I tried to get the flattest mic that I could, and I have my Tascam DR05, I think is what it's called. So it's basically just a room recorder. You know, it's got 2 mics on it and they're pretty flat, and it actually does a really good job at capturing the room sound of anything. So that's the best I could do. It's about 3 feet away, and I have it in the sweet spot so I can catch both the driver and the custom Celestion speaker that comes in this unit as well. So let's go ahead and hear what it sounds like right now with one of my studio captures. All right, so let's turn some knobs, and I'll just show you what the tone stack does and what the amp tone knob does as well. So even with some subtle changes, I mean, you can make this thing sound completely different, and that's the idea, because every room is completely different, so you can dial it in accordingly. So I think I have the amp tone knob up a little higher than I like it, at least for this room, but I'm just showing you what it can do. So let's go over the full sweep of that knob now. So that's pretty much the sweep of that knob, and it really does have a pretty extreme, you know, range of frequencies that it's changing as you go. So that's really cool. And then as you do that, you want to fine tune your tone stack as well. So I kind of like the fact that you have all these options, because again, rooms differ, so do your captures, so do your ears. I mean, there's just a lot of you know, reasons why you want that. Some people are like, option paralysis. No, it's actually good to have these options, because some cabs, they don't have any of that stuff. So you're kind of stuck with what you have. And if your cab sounds really dark in a certain room, you're kind of stuck with a dark sounding cab. Where with this, you can adjust it accordingly. So I do like that it has those options. And another thing that I want to point out is, as I'm turning these knobs, you'll see the lights associated with the settings too. So in a dark room, you don't have to rely on seeing the knob. You can actually see the lights really easily, and there's numbers associated with those lights. So it shows you like where you're at. So that's actually really nice as well, you know. So I love the fact that you can do that, because, you know, we play on a lot of dark stages, and it's nice to have lights. Like I said, they really thought of pretty much everything with this cab. I mean, there's so many options and so many like really convenient features on it that really work well for us, you know. And again, I love the kickstand as well, and we'll go and get into that upstairs when I'm in my my living room. But let's go ahead and dial this in a little bit more, and maybe I'll just do a short mix for you just to show you what it sounds like in a mix. And again, I'm recording this thing through a Tascam room mic kind of recorder thing. And again, it's really hard to demonstrate and capture the true sound of an FRFR cab, because you're recording a profiled amp and cab and mics, you know, through this, and you're kind of picking it up through another microphone. So it's kind of being double filtered, but I'm doing the best I can here. So let's dial it in a little further and do just a short mix. Okay, I can mess with this all day. I mean, there's so many little fine-tuning points on this thing, but I think I got something good enough to at least show what it sounds like in a quick mix. Now, regarding low end, this thing has plenty of low end, so you don't have to worry about it not having enough thump for you. It's got a really nice thump to it, good punch, low end and everything. And that's something that sometimes people miss in some of their FRFR cabs, or if they like playing through studio monitors like I do. Studio monitors are great, but some guys just want that thump and that like cab in the room kind of response and feel, and this thing definitely delivers on that. You get plenty of thump and low end in this, and it's incredible. And I'm glad that they left a lot of thump in there, because as soon as you get the kickstand out in a lot of these cabs, they're separating from the floor more, and less bass and low end gets transferred through the floor, so they get kind of thin sounding. But that is not the case with this. It has plenty of rumble, and it sounds great even when you put it up on the kickstand. Let's hear what it sounds like in a full mix now with these settings. And again, here are the settings, so let's go. Not bad, especially considering I'm, miking it with a little Tascam thingy that's about 3 feet away. So, yeah, it sounds good. Now, as far as volume goes, we are at 9 o'clock on this thing right now. And the other day I had this up in my living room, and I put it up to 11 o'clock, and it was blowing my freaking head off. Is this loud enough to keep up with a drummer? I would almost worry about a drummer being loud enough to keep up with this. This thing is loud as hell, and it really does have a great sound when you turn it up loud as well. It sounds awesome. And so you got no worries regarding it keeping up with the drummer at all. I really think you're going to love taking this thing to band practice, and I think your drummer might even tell you to turn it down. I mean, I'm not kidding you. It's loud. It's got a ton of headroom. So let's head upstairs and just see what it sounds like in my living room in kind of a real life situation. Because again, this is my studio. I mean, I have this room kind of tuned the way I like it. I'm used to how everything sounds down here. So let's see what kind of adjustments I'll need to make up there, and see how I utilize the tone stack and even the amp tone knob up there to make it work in that room, because it's completely different than this. All right, so I'm up in my living room where I do most of my playing. Now, I usually sit here, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to sit on the couch because it's more centrally located. Now, I have the Tonex Cab pretty much right there next to the camera, and I have it at a decent volume, a little bit loud for like watching TV and playing, but I just want to give you an idea of, like a normal living room setting, so if you have a significant other, she'd probably tell you to turn it down, but again, it's not blaring. It's just slightly lower than what I had it in the studio there. But so let's just hear what it sounds like. These are the same settings that I had in my studio. So now let's hear how it sounds up here in a different space, and then if needed, I will dial it in differently. So let's go ahead and hear what it sounds like now. Now I think it might sound a little brighter up here, but just for the sake of the video, I will dial it in a little differently for the room, but I honestly don't think I need to, but I could use a little more low end. I could just a little bit more, and maybe take some of the top end off. I'll just do it for the sake of the video. I'm recording with the same Tascam recorder. Now I can't show you what I'm dialing in, I'll just tell you what I did. So that you know, I don't have a bunch of cameras up here. I'm actually filming this with my phone. So I'm gonna turn the bass up a little bit. It was just below 9 o'clock. I'll put it just above 9 o'clock. And then I'm going to take the treble down a hair. And I had the amp tone knob just up at like about 7 o'clock. I'm going to turn it all the way down now and see what that's like. So let's go ahead and hear what that sounds like now. That sounds freaking amazing. I could go with that all day. And I just made some subtle changes and it made a big difference. I got more thump, more low end in this big room. I got wood floors, so I mean, you know, it's just a different sounding room. So what I could do with all these knobs and settings is I could dial this thing in for the different room that I'm in. And could I deal with it the way it was? Yeah, I mean, it sounded fine, but it sounds better now to me. In fact, I could probably turn the bass up a little bit more now if I wanted to. Also, I'm actually using the quad Cortex up here. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, so I did that on purpose to show you that it sounds good with other modelers too. You don't just have to use a Tonex. So if you're a quad Cortex user or Helix or, you know, NAM player, whatever, KEMPER, whatever, this thing sounds great with any of those units. So in fact, let me just dial in just a little more low end here and see how that sounds. But I'm satisfied with the way it is, but for the sake of the video, I'm going to nitpick some things a little bit and just, you know, get the best sound that I can. So I'm going to go up just a hair past 9 o'clock, another hair, I guess. And then I'm going to leave the amp tone where it was because I kind of like that where it is. It's all the way down to the mic side. So let's see what this sounds like. That sounds freaking awesome. Now I'm going to switch and just see how effects sound through it. So I have another setting here with some chorus and delay. Let's just, for shits and giggles, let's see what it sounds like with some effects. It sounds great. Yeah, I really think you guys are going to like this and in any setting. I mean, like I said, when I brought it up here, it sounded different because of the room. It sounded a little brighter, and I was able to change some things to suit the room better. And I just had to make some different, just fine-tuning settings, and it really made a difference. So I turned the bass up a little bit, and I also adjusted the treble a hair, and I took the amp tone knob all the way down, so that kind of helped out with that as well. And it's tailored for this room now, and if I wanted to, I could save these settings and have like a living room setting or a studio setting. And if I have a gig somewhere, I could take this with me to the gig, dial it in for that space, save those settings as well. And again, you can put IRs in it, you can do all that stuff and save everything in there. All right, so another thing I want to show you guys really quick is this has a kickstand on it. So right here, you can pop these out here and angle it back, you know, like so, and lean it back like a wedge. So this thing can act like a wedge or a cab. So if you want like that direct sound kind of up at you while you're standing and get the, you know, you can fine tune things a little better, you can use that, or you can have it sitting like that. And what's cool too is, once again, like I said earlier, is when you have it back like this, you have less cab touching the floor, so you have less low end. So because it has the tone stack, you can dial in some more bass to kind of make up for that, so you don't lose low end, because you will lose low end if you bring this back, but because of the tone stack, you can attenuate for that. And that's something really cool about this thing as well. Now, one more thing I want to talk about, there is software that is coming for this unit. It's just not available at the time of this demo. So when this is released in April, the software will come with it. So you can do all kinds of other things via the software when that is released with the cab. And I will do a video about that when the software is released. You know, you can load in your IRs, and there's probably a bunch of other stuff you could do as well that I'm not aware of right now, because obviously I don't have the software, but I can't wait to dig into that when it comes out as well. So to sum up, this thing has a lot of great features and a lot of ways you can dial it in for different scenarios that you'll be in, and you can save those settings. You know, that's what's really cool about this. It's not just your ordinary basic cab that you just turn on and turn off and has a volume knob on it. I mean, there's just so much more to it. And again, the fact that it has software, you can really go in deep and really make this thing tailored to your taste as well. I mean, the sky's the limit, right? You not only do you get the tone stack and the amp tone knob, but you can load in your own IRs as well. So the pre-order price for the Tonex Cab is only $6.99, and the MSRP will be $7.99. You can also get it with different fronts. You can get gold, silver, or black, like what you see here. So you can, you know, order those for yourself if you want, depending on what you like. And they will be shipping in April. And I also have an affiliate link in the description of this video. If you want to use that, I would appreciate that, because that helps me out as well. So hey, if you want to get a great price on this and save $100, this is the time to get one. You can pre-order it, and when they ship in April, you'll get it and save $100. Well, again, I want to thank my friends at IK Multimedia for allowing me to be part of this launch. I really think this is a great product, and I think a lot of people are going to love this thing and find a lot of great ways to dial it in for their individual needs. I also want to thank everyone who's been purchasing my Tonex captures off of my website, which is also linked below. I really appreciate you guys for doing that. Thank you so much. It does help me keep the lights on here, and I love hearing back from you guys about how much you enjoy the captures. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and there will be more to come when the software is released, so I can't wait to do those videos for you as well. And feel free to comment below on what you thought of the video and what you thought of the cab as well, and what you think of IK Multimedia's Tonex pedals. I'm looking forward to seeing your comments below. Thanks to all my Patreon supporters and subscribers. I really appreciate you guys. And if you're new to the channel and you like what I do here, feel free to subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified every time I either go live or come out with another video. I got a lot more stuff coming up for you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.